Goody good even, goody Mary, and Sir William, it is with great pleasure that I do welcome you into my humble abode. Welcome back to the Jackverse. You may be asking yourself, why in the world did Jack introduce himself with such an antiquated language and fashion? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have a reason. And if you will join me in this little venture, I will explain. Last weekend I had the privilege of attending a convention, or a con in the vernacular of those who attend frequently. While I was there, I attended a number of panels. I sat on a number of panels, and something struck me. Actually, it didn't strike me as much as it punched me square in the jaw and made me realize that there are still people out there that are stuck in a time that is not now. Somehow they have managed to hop into a DeLorean, hit 88 miles an hour, and go back to the future with Michael J. Fox and the hoverboard. Why don't we have hoverboards yet? Anyway, I'm sitting in the audience of this one panel, and I won't give the name of anything to be kind, but the panel was about editing, and near the end of the panel they asked for horror stories, and well, of course I have a horror story with regards to editing. So I share the horror story, and the horror story, the gist of it is that I had hired an editor at one point, only to discover said editor was, their finished product was filled with mistakes. So I had to pull the books and hire a new editor. So when I spoke of this horror story, one of the panelists stood up, almost pooped her pants and did a backflip, and said, "You pay for an editor?" She said, "Money comes in, it don't go out." I was flabbergasted, to say the least. But here's what I gained from this experience, the knowledge, the wisdom, as it were. There are still some people out there that believe wholeheartedly the only route to publishing your work is with the old guard. That if you're not finishing your manuscript and submitting that manuscript to publishers and agents, you are not an author. It is 2015, people. We and technology and systems have evolved. We cannot stop evolution. We cannot stop entropy. The human creature must move forward or it will die. The same holds true with entertainment. Imagine if Blockbuster were still around trying to pimp their little discs. Do you remember those? I'm just kidding, of course we do. And not streaming, not offering a to-your-door service. They'd be dead. They are dead. They are irrelevant. And that is exactly what this author on this panel was proclaiming, that she was irrelevant. And why was she irrelevant? Well, maybe, just maybe, that irrelevancy comes from the fact that you have refused to join the masses in the now. Now, here's the truth of the matter. In today's world, with today's technology, you are relevant for a very short period of time, and then you're irrelevant. And then you're relevant again, and then you're irrelevant again. And if you become irrelevant and you don't do something about it, you will remain irrelevant. as much as many people hate to admit it, in order to continue to remain in the eyes and the minds and the hearts of the public, you have to be active with them. You can't just sit back in your little hovel and submit your manuscript to a publisher or an agent and then wait for the magic to happen. Because that magic and those publishers and those agents are very slowly themselves becoming irrelevant. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. There will always be publishers and agents. But they are in the minority now. And if you want to be relevant in this world, you have to do something about it. And part of that doing is evolving and accepting the idea that there are writers out there, such as myself, who would prefer to do this all by themselves, which includes paying for, surprise, an editor. If I didn't pay for an editor, it would show in my work. So, the lesson was learned, at least on my part. Unfortunately, I don't believe the lesson was learned on that panelist's part. I believe that panelist left that convention believing her way was the only way. If that were the truth, there would be a whole lot of authors out there that we wouldn't be enjoying. In fact, we can stretch that out to other forms of entertainment. There wouldn't be movies and music and painters and clothing designers that we wouldn't know about. Imagine what that would be like. Imagine if the only films that you ever got to see were from Universal Entertainment. Imagine if the only music that you got to hear was from Sony. What if all the little guys were just taken out of the picture? Paints a kind of boring, droll, and drab picture as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, that was my experience, at least for that one little tiny moment. There were other wonderful experiences that I had there, especially communing with the power that is Armand Rosamilia, and Jay Wilburn and Brent Abel, and plenty of other authors out there that really get it and know that we live and die as a community. Or a train passing in the distance. I can't control that, just like that lady on the panelist can't control the fact that we are a force that will not fall. Anyway, thank you very much for giving me your time and your ears and your eyes. This is a wonderful, wonderful time to be an artist. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day.